Welcome back to the First of the Worst podcast. I'm Brendan Murphy.
And I am Steve Arendas.
Good evening, Steve. We're more night games than day games these days.
It seems like playing night games.
In the middle western United States, in the middle of the week for us. It is irrelevant to you what time it is, and I've tried to incorporate that in the way I do this broadcast, but I just don't have it in me, apparently, to let the element of time go.
It's fine. The most popular podcasts in the world they mention it, so you're good. We're in good company.
And we are among the most popular podcasts in the... No, it's a Magic Hat grapefruit IPA, so it's fruitier than a Bud Heavy, literally. That wasn't being metaphorical, but I'm sure that real men would have something to say about that as well.
Whatever, it's fine. Real men can say whatever they want.
When and if I meet one, I'll tell you what they think.
Speaking of real men... real men probably like to do shots at bars. What do you think? Do you think real men like to do that? I don't know.
I think they probably just sip.
You're right. They do. Well, our list this week, and we're going to talk about shots at bars. What are your favorite top 10 shots? Because maybe there was a time in my life when I thought shots were a good thing. It's not anymore.
I mean, I still do them on occasion. Like if I'm getting drunk, I'll probably end up doing a few shots, but it's never part of the plan. And I mean, over time, my body chemistry has kind of at times been set off by liquor. I'm actually not in a good phase of liquor decision making in my life right now, so probably should be avoiding shots. But I don't turn down free.
That's the thing with shots. You get once if they're offered to you, you can't. If it's been purchased, you have to take it.
Yeah, I mean,
unless you're a girl and a guy is trying to assault you. Then no, you don't have to take it. I'm going to say
a different set of rules for girls.
If you're a guy, you have to take it. Just those are the rules. Rules is rules.
Yeah, also, you're a creepy ass guy. Okay, here's how that conversation begins. Would you like a shot? That's a yes or no question. If she says no, then the conversation should be over. Who's taking the shot after they said no? They're like, I've changed my mind. This guy does not take no for an answer, which is very good in a dating setting.
Yeah, you should just stop talking to him. This is a little trickier to make than I thought it was going to be. But how did you go about I just kind of was like, what shots am I more likely to be excited about taking?
I just kind of did ones that I kind of enjoyed at different parts of my life. There are like at least 3 shots on here I will never take again.
Oh, really? I think I got everyone left in me. On my list.
Well, I mean, there's one that I probably will take again because it's just so frequently on special.
All right, let's just kick it off then. What's your number?
My number 10 is the first time I ever vomited from drinking was because of this. So I went with types of liquor instead of brands, and sometimes I differentiated.
I'm a little back and forth. Sometimes some of these are.
Well, I think that it can go either way. I mean, certain times, to say tequila is pretty encompassing, although I actually did just do the generic tequila at one point on my list. But there's a spectrum for some liquors. And I just did number 10. I did cheap vodka, which
did not make my list. Vodka did not make my list.
Vodka is not a shot. I would never do it again, but it caused me to, the first time I ever puked was from I believe Dimitrinov.
Not Aristocrat.
Yeah. And so Dimitri and Smirnoff fucked and had an inbred cousin child, and it was that.
All the other good cheap pop off. That's another one, right?
That was what you drank in high school. So it's funny because I often do lists like this based on fond memories, and I'm sure I know for a fact I felt horrible the next day, and I puked all over my friend's Nate's stairs, and his parents woke up, and I blamed it on a peanut allergy, which was such a terrible cover.
Because it smelled like cheap vodka.
Smelled like cheap vodka. And then I woke up the next day and they had fans on in the house and everyone's like, how you feeling? And I was like, good. Yeah, fucking peanuts. My parents found out this years later and my mom still will not let me live down.
That's amazing. I don't have a fun story for my number 10.
Cheap vodka should actually not have that many fun stories. So that is appropriate. It should be like, yeah, this is what I took when I this is what I was drinking when I got my second DUI. That's like a cheap vodka story. Not first DUI, second.
No.
You have a problem. already. Yeah. It was kind of established.
For sure. Yeah, my number 10 is if there's one on this list I maybe won't ever take again. I feel like I might not ever take a shot of Jaeger again.
It's kind of an oversight that it didn't make my list. I had it in my candidates.
I don't like it. It just gets ordered. People order it, but it doesn't happen as much anymore. And I'll get to it later.
Fireball has taken over the Jaeger space.
I was gonna say I'll get to it
even though they're not really that similar.
No, the exact same target market.
They're the ridiculous novelty shot that doesn't taste good either way.
Oh, I'd see. There's a reason Fireball's ranked higher on my list.
Not on my list, actually. I had it in the prelims. I'm confident that everything I put on here, I would, maybe with one exception, I would probably say I'd still do Fireball.
I hate Jaeger, but I couldn't think of a shot to rank above it, so it made number 10 on my list. Number 9, our former sponsor, Jeppson's Malort.
Former and hopefully future. Who knows?
If we just keep talking about it, it'll happen. I know it tastes terrible, but I really enjoyed doing a shot of Malort.
Okay. Here's the thing.
I don't think
it's
that bad. And
exactly.
I think people overreact.
It's not as bad. People act like it tastes like I don't know. Voldemort's cum. That's what people act like Malort tastes like. It's that bad.
Yeah, it's the aftertaste that gets you, just like Voldemort's cum.
Just like Voldemort's ejaculate. It's. I'd hope that Voldemort's cum would hit a little more, but in terms of the laugh line.
Well, it's magical too, so.
It's not. Okay, my shitty cheap Dimitrov has the same shitty ass aftertaste as Malort without any of the character.
Yeah. Well, the best part about Malort is now that I don't live in Chicago and I own a bottle of Malort, I could always dupe somebody into taking a shot with me that has no clue what they're getting into.
They would have. See, here's what I think, though. If they don't know that it's supposed to be bad, they won't react that it's that bad.
Oh, they do. That's the thing. So I think it actually is that bad. And we're just real men. Bad. Maybe we're those real men we were talking about meeting.
That just drink Malort on the rocks. No, neat. Pardon me. Neat.
My buddy Skinny drank a bottle. My buddy Skinny drank a bottle in a night once.
Bet?
Yeah. It wasn't.
Yeah, I would puke if I did that. I can't even drink ice beer anymore.
It's 70 proof, so it's not really, really weak. Which is that's not much different than your normal whiskey, which is 80 proof.
And your buddy's Skinny, I'm guessing. He's not, and I've met him. He's not an ironically skinny guy nicknamed Skinny.
No.
No, he is actually skinny. So he was probably pretty fucked up.
Yeah, he's a drinker though. What's your number 9?
My number 9 is this is one that the one I initially included in the 3 I would not take, but just because they're always around and my children will hopefully someday go to college. Jello shots.
Oh, you are grossly underrated Jello shots.
Very drunk times of my life have been on Jello shots, though I oftentimes feel they're super diluted.
You don't know. That's the thing.
You don't know. I took a Spanish test super drunk because too many Jello shots. Because you just don't know.
You don't know what you're getting into. I'll talk more about Jello shots later. They're very high on my list.
Very high.
Very high. So what's your number 8?
SoCo Lime. I don't think I'll take that again because it doesn't really exist anymore. It just kind of went away. I'm sure the ingredients still exist.
SoCo and Southern Comfort and lime juice.
Remember that was a big shot for a while.
It was hot in the streets.
That was kind of in between in terms of chronology. Jaeger had its day and Fireball's having its day, but I feel like SoCo Lime had a little bit of a middle ground there where it was pretty fucking. I feel like SoCo Lime's
different though because it's mixed, right? Because you can't ever do Fireball definitely replaced Jaeger because it's also a drink that some bros just pulling out of a bottle at a party like Jaeger. You can't do that with SoCo Lime.
No, you can't. Yeah, you could just do it with SoCo, which is far more manly.
Oh, I don't even want to talk about the time I did. Well, I'm about to talk about the time I did 13 shots of SoCo before I went to the bar.
Janis Joplin drank a bottle of it every day, so you're not even a real man yet.
Well, I'm not a real lady, but I might be a real man.
You might be. She's an all-timer, man.
Yeah. Was that your number 8? Was SoCo Lime? SoCo Lime's not a terrible shot. You know what? I could see somebody randomly throwing one of those in front of me. Who knows?
Now I kind of want to do it just so people are like, huh? Okay. No one would be offended.
Okay, so my 8 and my 7 go together, and I feel like people are gonna rag on me for not having these higher. My number 8 is just whiskey, and my number 7 is specifically Jameson.
Okay, I have those on my list actually kind of as separate entities as well, and they're higher.
Okay, because so here's the thing: I like drink whiskey, but I usually do like bourbon, and I'll drink it like in a glass. But like, I don't ever really want to shot of whiskey.
That is the thing about it, is that especially, and I don't want to get too much into it, like the American whiskeys are especially good now. Like this bourbon thing,
I love bourbon.
Where it's like $125 a bottle for Bulleit. I mean, things like that. Like, yeah, that's not. No, it's like 65. But they have like, but that's what they just have. I mean, that's the common one. But I'm surely they have.
Yeah, you know, like the common one's like 30, but there's other ones that are more expensive. You can get it. It's good though. Still, I love it. But like, nobody orders that as a shot. Somebody orders me a shot of whiskey, I'm pissed. And the only reason I put Jameson higher as one higher than whiskey just because it's cooler to order.
It is cooler to order. I'll go through it a little more. I don't want to.
Well, you're Irish. I figured I was offending something by putting Jameson only as number 7.
But I'm not as good an alcoholic as I should be. Here's the thing. Now you can be an alcoholic and not even drink that much liquor because beer is so fucking prolific. Beer is so much stronger than it used to be.
Yeah, for sure.
So that changed the whole dynamic. I meant to look up before we did this if wine was actually more potent than it used to be. I know that sounds ridiculous, but does it sound ridiculous?
I don't think it really is. It's not that beer is more prolific than it used to be. It's that you can actually buy beers that aren't light beer.
Yeah.
And it's very common.
I mean, my favorite reference on this is basically the show Mad Men, and the only time he drank beer was when he was mowing the lawn. Essentially. Otherwise, just brown liquor all goddamn day. From like 10 a.m. till 10 p.m.
Roger Sterling was a clear liquor man.
He was gin.
He was a gin man, right? Yeah.
He was a gin man.
Didn't make my list. Sorry, gin.
Okay, come on. Who shoots gin? Who shoots gin? I mean, just because it's a popular liquor doesn't mean it's a good shot. I think Scotch is gross. But I've never taken a shot of it. I guess I'm not really making a point besides saying that Scotch just sucks to me. But I've never heard of someone you could love Scotch and think it's a terrible shot still, I imagine.
We had the old rule back in college that you had to take any shot on your birthday that somebody gave you as long as they took it with you. So they could buy you like the grossest shot in the world if they were willing to take it with you. And literally, like, of all the terrible things I got, somebody just bought me a glass of Scotch like halfway through like my 20th birthday. And I was like, what the fuck is this? And it was like rail Scotch. It was like whatever that is.
At Cam's.
I don't remember. Some place of that nature. What was that? Did we do your number 7?
So we did my number 9 and my number 8, and now we're on to me 7 and 6, right?
Yeah.
So my number 7 actually plays into it. It's the only novelty shot I have on my list.
Okay, I didn't put any really. So
I figured you would have had like the cocktail shots, like the Alabama Slammer.
No, I hate those. I don't want to waste that much time with a
I know, but shot. I just thought that there was some sort of like weird Tom Cruise thing you do where like the 80s movie, so you put it on there. Irish car bomb. It doesn't taste like shit or anything. I mean, it's fine.
Oh, I guess that's a novelty shot. And first off, are you allowed to say it because you're Irish?
Should I just call it?
Are you allowed to say Irish?
Oh, should I just call it a car bomb?
Yeah, so it's number 5 on my list. We'll just say it. I ordered an Irish car bomb. I said that way to an Irish bartender, and he was like, dude, no. He's like, you can't. No, it's a car bomb. It's offensive. Like, yeah, literally, like he...
That guy has a rough life ahead. If he gets offended by Irish stereotypes and works at a bar.
It was an Irish bar.
Doesn't matter. I've ordered it at Irish bars and German bars.
I don't ever say the Irish after that. I don't say the I word.
I have a whole bit about the troubles in Northern Ireland, and I ran it by an Irish comedian before I said it. He's like, I don't think it's that funny, but I'm not offended. I was like, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. I would. But also comedians don't get offended. It's like their job not to be offended.
Yeah, you're right. Well, bartenders have thin skin, again, that guy needs to go get a social work degree or something.
I like car bombs. I just don't have them ranked higher. I only have them ranked 5. I think they're delicious. I know some people fucking hate them. I don't have them ranked higher because it's kind of a mess.
I don't really know how to do it. I mean, I'm just trying to think of how it works right now, and it's
You just drop it in, but it's always a mess. It's always like there's always some sticky crap involved.
That's why it's a novelty shot.
And then, well, there was. I mean, I once went to visit back after I left school. Went back to visit my sister at Unofficial at U of I, and they had $2 car bombs, and it was just what I drink all night.
Oof.
It was pretty good.
Those were the days.
Okay, so that was your number 7, where the I word car bombs.
You know what I've decided as we're going through this list is that I don't have strong convictions about any of these.
Oh, I really don't.
Some of these lists, like I'm like, you're a fucking idiot. That's wrong.
I could be talked off a lot of these.
Yeah. So, like, if you were like Irish car bomb should be number 2, I'd be like, yeah.
You know why? It's because shots suck.
Yeah. Like, this is a good list. They're also not for adults.
That's the thing. It's like we're past I feel like if we were both like 24 making this, we'd have some hot takes.
We'd have a totally different view of Fireball. Like now we're like, yeah, it's just some bullshit.
I haven't even said it yet. It's on my list.
Oh, so maybe you and I differentiate. I didn't put Fireball on my list, but it could be as high as number 3. Like that's where I'm at.
You only have strong convictions, and you're for top 2. Okay, so what's your 6 then?
Rumplemints.
Oh, it was my number 4. We're in a good slot here.
It's the only flavored liqueur that I will ingest these days.
It's also 100 proof.
I would not have known that. But I've taken I've taken a Rumpleman shot probably in the past 2 or 3 months. Like that's not that uncommon for me.
It's like significantly stronger than like whiskey, and it like freshens your breath.
That is nice. The thing is, the fucking Germans, they're not fucking around.
Rumpleman's isn't that bad. No, it's my number 4. It's not a bad shot.
I did not realize it was stronger than most shots.
It is. It's really strong. People are like think it's like not because it tastes like schnapps or something. But
it does taste like schnapps,
but it's stronger than like whiskey or tequila or whatever. All right, my number 6 then is Fireball. Well, it just tastes like atomic fireballs, man.
Okay, so Fireball and Rumplemints are cousins, essentially.
Except Fireball's only 66 proof.
Okay, but they come in like the same weird mouthwash category to me.
It's a different flavor of mouthwash, though. Yeah, cinnamon versus like peppermint. Yeah, like, for sure.
Like Juicy Fruit what's the gum that has cinnamon and pepper? Is it Doublemint or Wrigley might have flavors. Wrigley has both.
It's toothpaste flavors. Like when my my little brothers used to use like cinnamon flavored toothpaste. It's disgusting. So it tastes just like Fireball in retrospect.
He was ahead of the curve.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure he snuck Fireball into a college football game before, a bottle of it. So that's fine. What's your so that my number 5 was the car bomb.
Yeah, the car bomb's a good shot, right?
Yeah,
it gets more volume.
Oh, the one thing I was going to note here, I didn't include it on my list. Any of my friends that are listening to this will be offended, but it's actually like you can call it whatever you want, but a bear fight is really 2 shots.
You'll have to give me the context of what a bear fight is.
A bear fight is a car bomb and a Jaeger bomb.
So you do both in one beer?
No, it's like back to back.
Oh.
Jaeger bombs did not make my list.
Yeah, I did. Jaeger didn't make my list. I would have concluded Jaeger bombs as Jaeger to me.
Yeah. See, okay, so this is a generational thing, and by generational I mean a couple years difference thing. So when you first had a Jaeger bomb at a bar, how was it served to you?
In a plastic solo cup type thing.
And just the Jaeger was poured into the
energy drink.
Red Bull. Okay. When Jaeger bombs first came out, like when I was in college and like Red Bull was like new and hot in the streets, when I was like a freshman in college, And like, first off, your Jaeger bombs would be made by them opening a can of Red Bull in front of you, because there was no like knockoffs yet, right?
Okay, well it didn't come till later where they started doing Monster and shit.
But listen, they would pour you a full Red Bull into a pint glass and hand you a glass shot of Jaeger, and you drop it in like a car bomb.
And then a man was beat to death.
And that's what it was.
I stopped doing bomb shots 4 or 5 years ago when I did so many that I couldn't sleep for like 7 hours.
Yeah.
I may as well have just done cocaine. Like, why didn't it would have been a cooler story if I did blow.
Yeah, no, yeah, you don't want to drink energy drinks at night. It's not a good situation.
No, I could feel my heart pounding.
Yeah. So I guess then we're back onto your number 5.
We are, but I took a little detour to the fridge to get a beer during this this shot. this little shit. So we're in a little interlude here. We are back to my number 5. So my number 5 is American whiskey. So you kind of broke it up into 2. I did essentially the same thing.
Okay. And you're probably
really
just gonna
the only one I could think of that I thought was an acceptable shot was Jack.
Because you don't just like order like
get you a shot of Maker's. You're like, why? Why'd you do that?
I like Maker's Mark though. I'll drink Maker's Mark.
Why would you do that?
Yeah. But like, yeah, you're right. Nobody ever like maybe like college kids would just be like, I'll have a shot of Rail whiskey. I don't know. But like nobody's gonna hand me a shot of Rail whiskey anymore. They'd order like Jack or something.
Jack might be Rail, right?
No. Well, in a nice bar. Maybe. I don't know.
What's shitty whiskey now? I mean, that's the other thing I couldn't really figure it out.
You don't know. Nobody buys that though. Is the thing. You know what I mean? Like nobody like. It's like I don't know.
Jack is an incredibly popular drink. In the research for this, it looked like they did one of those maps by state where each state had the most popular one. I didn't count, but Jack may be the most popular, like in the most states.
Oh, really? Does it just dominate the South?
Yeah, it was Jack. And then like a few had like random shitty like Smirnoff or
really like Crown Royal anywhere.
Crown was a few places. Montana had Patron. It's the only state that had.
Love
Patron. It. Captain was a lot of places. This is the best. It's just what people buy the most of.
Yeah, you get big bottles of it. Yeah. Okay. So then, what's your number 4 then?
My number 4 is kind of my favorite one of these. Sake.
Oh. I've never had sake in my life.
It kind of tastes like vodka, actually. It's just more fun.
You like a sake bomb, right?
Yeah, it's fun.
Fun's a good thing in a shot.
Yeah. I mean, most of these should be fun.
Yeah. I've never had a sake bomb or sake, and I don't know why. I think I own an unopened bottle of sake.
Okay, so if you're asking what it tastes like, I think it tastes like vodka, but if it tasted like orange juice, I could be so wrong.
It's like rice liquor.
It is rice liquor, so I mean, I think it's kind of, it is clear. I believe.
Yeah, it's clear. It's for sure clear. I own a bottle somewhere that's never been opened. All right, so then we're on my number 4.
Yeah,
which I already said was Rumpelmans.
Rumpelmans,
proof.
A good liquor.
Freshens your breath.
Rumpelmans. That might be the takeaway. That Rumpelmans is kind of underrated.
Yeah, it may be. This might be our big takeaway from this whole podcast is that Rumpelmans is a decent shot to order if you're trying to get drunk and freshen your breath at the same time. All right,
and like you can still feel like a man, kind of, on Rumpelmans.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Okay, so then my number 3 is, I guess, if like I'm at a bar and I want to be drunk. I call this shot as a good tequila.
Okay.
So like I drew a line there. I'm not specifying a specific thing, but like good. I'm not ordering Rail tequila.
So tequila is my number 2. So I'll just throw.
I'm getting good tequila and I'm making sure it's cold. And like that's what I'm doing.
And clear, right?
Oh, you don't go añejo sometimes?
Clear. No.
I go both ways. I prefer clear though. I would agree.
So I just did regular tequila on the list, but as I was coming down this list, if I was going to highlight cheap vodka, I certainly need to highlight good tequila.
Yeah, this is very different. Warm, cheap tequila might be like one of the worst shots you could do.
You know what? Even good tequila make you puke your ass off.
It's happened. Years ago, when I was in Chicago, me and my roommate at the time, Vasily, and my good buddy, my good buddy Paul, we went to the Hang Up. I don't know if you even know about it. It's a good old we went to a place called the Hang Up. What downstairs, ordered a beer and a shot of tequila each to get the night start. Cause we got there a little early because we didn't want to wait in line, and we were like in the area. We're like, yeah, we'll just go this. Big giant Mexican bartender. Basically it was like, white boys want to drink tequila. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's what we ordered. Rest of the night, so he gave us our shots for free. Gave us our tequila shots for free. Good tequila, chilled it. Rest of the night, every time we went back to him, ordered a beer, gave us a free tequila shot. It didn't end well for any of us.
Which of you did he take home?
None of us. We all left separately and we all threw up. That was just like his entertainment for the night, was making us throw up, I think. Like
that's a predatory bartender move.
Yeah, that guy should have been arrested. That guy should have been arrested. Whatever. I think my roommate at the time, he might have thrown up out of a cab window on Lakeshore Drive.
Oh, I've never puked in a cab to my knowledge.
He threw up out of the window.
Yeah, but on Lakeshore Drive, you may as well be puking back into the cab.
I'm sure.
I puked out a window when I was like 8, driving to Carbondale out of our minivan, and got on everyone.
Then you go out the front window. Please tell me you puked out the front window and the back window was open.
It was a minivan, so it was just cracked. But yeah, it came back, man. Because I was sick enough that they let me sit in the front seat, which must have been pretty fucking sick.
Yeah, you don't just give up the front seat.
No, to like a 10-year-old, a child between 8 and 10. Yeah,
no.
There's a hierarchy.
All right, what's your number?
So my number 3, I've only done maybe 3 times, and it has a mythical power, which I think is bullshit.
Oh, I forgot about it.
It still is very strong and kind of fun.
I'm replacing Jaeger as my number 10.
And that's absinthe.
Oh, it should be higher on my list.
I don't know if I did the good kind or the bad kind. The kind I did was green.
When did you get it? And was it kind you could buy in America?
Twice.
Was it the stuff you could buy in America?
Once I did it in Amsterdam, but I was already really fucked up.
Yeah, I would assume.
But I wasn't on like mushrooms or anything, so I didn't have like an out-of-body experience because of the absinthe. I was just like pretty drunk.
I've never had it. Like, I just got like, I took like 4 shots of it once. I didn't like actually drink it the way you're supposed to drink it, where they have like the sugar and all that or whatever.
Yeah, you can light it on fire too, right?
Yeah, it's really strong. But it was, I just felt like it was really like, it's so, you know how like when you take a shot, when I had it years ago, a guy I knew in college smuggled like 4 bottles back from the Czech Republic before it was legal in America. And we all drank a bunch of it, and it was just like everybody just got really drunk. Like that was it.
Yeah, I don't think you see shit. The rumor is that it's a hallucinogen.
Yeah, and maybe it was at one point in history, like a certain kind was or something.
Maybe it's still, yeah, but the kinds I've had.
Yeah. Absinthe. I was grossly overlooked that one. All right. What's your number 2?
We already did tequila, so I'm with you. Like,
okay.
Yeah, like Patron or something like that.
Okay. My number 2, now I'm going to get to a specific kind. This is maybe not a popular shot. Maybe one you've never even done. It's Patron XO. It's the coffee Patron.
Oh,
it's Gentleman's Four Loko.
Yeah, I can't fuck with that shit. I heard as soon as I heard that existed, I said that I hope I never do that.
It's delicious. It's like, well, it's Patron, and it tastes like a espresso shot. And let's say you're having a long night and you need to not go to sleep. That's what you do. It's delicious. Patron XO.
It sounds classy, yeah, expensive.
It's as expensive as regular Patron. It's not like it's not nothing crazy, but it's.
If I'm ordering Patron, I'm probably in River North or something.
Pretty sure the last time I ordered a Patron XO, I might have been in Old Town.
Okay, that's like the borders of where I would consider ordering one.
Yeah.
Benchmark, maybe.
It literally might have been Benchmark. Or the place like next door to it that was weird. It might not be there anymore.
Yeah,
All
there's
right.
something new there. That's a hybrid of Benchmark and Au Cheval. It's called Les Duce.
My number one, it was briefly mentioned earlier. It's not a tough guy shot. Never had a bad time doing Jello shot in my life. I'm not pretending to be cool. I'm just saying, when you're doing Jello shots, where are you? You're like at a house party. You're like tailgating. You're tailgating. You're doing something like that, and it's awesome. And it's maybe not only the best shot, it's maybe the only acceptable daytime shot. It's like might be the only shot you could hand me like during day drinking where I won't be like, what the fuck are you doing handing me a shot?
Jello shots are the kind of thing where it's just like.
It's also the best shot to take when you're already hammered.
It's a why not shot. It's like they're like, it's $2 and it's tropical. Like, well, why not? Why not? Because it could be super potent.
They might be super potent. There might be like nothing in it. It might just be literally
From my
like
experience, it's more there's nothing in it than the reverse.
Well, first off, if you're buying one, there's nothing in it.
You're right.
If you're like at a party, you don't know though.
You're buying it and it's always cheap, which is why there's nothing in it.
If you're at a party or like a tailgate and like somebody brings out like a tray of Jello shots, who knows?
They don't even know.
They don't know totally.
They don't really know.
And it could vary from like one shot to the other because of how like the Jello mixed. Like you have no clue what's going on.
Yeah, Ashley's having a barbecue for Pearl Jam on Saturday. Maybe I'll make
some Jello shots.
I think that's a fun idea.
Nobody's gonna be mad.
No, they will go quickly.
Exactly. Jello shots.
And I've never done it. It seems much easier than the vodka watermelon. I've never seen anyone do that right.
I've done it. It is easier though. I think Jello shots
done it right. It seems like it always gets fucked up.
You gotta do it well in advance and let it give it time.
Like days in advance.
Here's the problem: when people make a vodka watermelon, is they just like want to do it like an hour before the party,
or like the night before. It has to be.
You have to like let that thing drain into it, right? Like, and that takes time. Though I was at a party once, and there's a bunch of cut up watermelon on a tray, and I just poured their vodka all over it, and it was a hit. That was within the last like 2 or 3 years. You
know what is a delicious summer dish is that, have you ever had the watermelon salad with cheese on it?
No.
It sounds gross, but it's amazing.
It sounds horrible.
It has cheese and mint, and it's just like
mint and watermelon sounds good.
This cornucopia of salt and sweet, and it's from the earth.
Okay, I'll try it if I ever see it instead of just being grossed out.
I would recommend it. I will be the first to acknowledge it sounds disgusting. I'm not talking about like nacho cheese on top of watermelon. I'm talking about like feta.
Okay, that's what I was picturing, like a white crumbled cheese. I was picturing either feta or like that Mexican cheese, but I didn't know which one. So what's your number one then? It's Jameson because you're Irish and you're.
I just did Irish whiskey because I
obliged.
But like Tullamore Dew would be fucking ridiculous as a shot. So it is pretty much Jameson. And because of The Wire, of all things, I'm like weirdly opposed to
Bushmills.
So
is Bushmills? What's wrong with Bushmills? That's the other one. That's the only other one I know.
It's the Protestant whiskey, is what Jimmy McNulty says. Here's the funny thing. Most Irish guy I know is my friend Brendan McCaffrey's dad.
Okay.
Irish Catholic from Sligo. Like moved here when he was 20.
Is he a big Bushmills guy?
Drinks only Bushmills.
Maybe that's the thing. Maybe it's one of those things where like nobody in Ireland. Do people like you've been to Ireland, right? No?
Yeah, they love Budweiser.
Yeah, that's the thing. Do people actually like drink a lot of Jameson in Ireland or no?
I didn't pay attention to it.
They drink Guinness. They drink
I didn't
Guinness
do a lot of heavy
drinking
drinking there. They drink Guinness, it seems like. They drink those like heavy lager type beers, although it's a misnomer to call them heavy. They drink those lagers.
Yeah.
But they get a lot of bottles of American beer.
Yeah, for sure. There's a reason. Yeah, Budweiser is like so popular. People drink it everywhere.
Yeah, they drink a lot of like Bud, and I saw some Heineken, which I guess makes sense. European. I mean, it's probably the biggest Guinness and Heineken.
But doesn't seem like there's a big craft brew scene out in Ireland.
There will be. They're just like they were 10 years behind on Miami Vice and the Eagles are popular there now. I mean,
you should move to Ireland and open a small brewery and just introduce them to the world of 9% alcohol beers. They'll love it.
My girlfriend once came up with one of the most astute observations. Whenever you go to a craft brewery, there's always a story about it, and it's like, Jeb and Tom were tired of the rat race, so they started brewing beer in Tom's garage, and before you know it, Disgruntled Suburbanite Brewery was born.
I never read those things. I know what you're talking about. They're
it's the always on the menu. Ridiculous goddamn biography.
I've never read one. I go to those places all the time because I love it, but I know exactly what you're talking about, even though I've never.
But how come they're all in awesome places then? How come everyone's so sad about their day job? What were you doing in like Missoula, Montana that sucks so bad that you just started a craft brewery? You were probably a park ranger, geologist.
They would still be doing that. There's tons of shit jobs. They're working at a gas station.
Yeah, that's not as good a narrative. That actually is a better narrative. But it's like Jeff was just tired of mopping up puke and crying lost dreams at the Safeway.
Yeah, like at a Walmart or something. Like, I don't know. Where do people work?
The craft brewer always starts from a place of privilege.
Oh, for sure, because they have to have the money to like start the brewery. Like you can't like. It's not like a hobo.
No, yeah.
I mean, I don't know who's the guy who started the Mad Dog 2020 brewery. Maybe that was a hobo. I don't know.
He couldn't afford hops, so he just went with what they had.
Maybe farmers. I bet one of them has been started by like a farmer somewhere. That's a different story. Some brewery has been started by a farmer somewhere. That makes sense to me.
Yeah. An organic dipshit farmer. Why do I hate organic farmers for trying to make us better?
Yeah, because they'd love to talk about it.
Yeah, if I knew an organic farmer, they probably wouldn't shut the fuck up. And I just start buying Monsanto out of spite. Like I don't have a bunch of their shit in my fridge right now. I'm sure I do.
I don't even know. I don't believe anything that's written on anything.
Because reading's for assholes. If it's longer than a tweet, it's a lie. Not to get too political, but this is now like because the Trump news cycle is so absurd. This is like 6 weeks old, but there was like several people that knew him. They were like, I don't think he's read a book since like 1980. And that was like, and it was corroborated by a bunch of people who were like, yeah, it sounds right.
Yeah, but he's written some books since 1980.
That was the one thing. One guy's like, that's not true. He's written like 3 books. He read those. Like, that's a really shitty counter argument, but okay. Also, he didn't even write those.
If I was Trump, he's not. If somebody calls Trump out on that to his face, wouldn't he just be like, "Well, how many books have you written?"
That is probably what he'd do. But what if he's Hillary Clinton? She's like 4. I mean, I'm sure she's written a bunch of fucking books too.
Well, that's the thing, yeah. Obama's written a few.
Yeah, I mean, then she'd be like, "Well, shit."
If you become like a big time politician, you write or, in quotes, write a few books.
It's probably a huge revenue source.
Yeah. I mean, you know how much money Trump's going to make off this election if he loses and just like writes books?
So Michael Moore wrote a column yesterday on like Huffington Post or Politico that was just essentially was like, Trump only did this because, and he like cited sources, and this is Michael Moore. So, I mean, he's obviously a crazy leftist, but Trump only did this because he was insulted by the money NBC was giving him for The Apprentice, and he thought if he ran for president, he could get a new season of The Apprentice at better money. And then NBC pulled the plug on The Apprentice because he was like, Mexicans, rape.
Yeah.
Those are things that are related. And NBC was like, no.
They're not. No, they're not. We own Telemundo.
No, they're not. But we're still going to cover your campaign for 26 minutes out of a 30-minute broadcast just to make up for it.
Yeah. And
that his whole plan all along was just to increase his profile, and now then Moore's contention was that he's self-sabotaging.
So I got a question for you. You said leftists there. What are we going with these days? What is your squad going with? Because like for a while, years and years and years, everybody was just Democrats, and then everybody became liberals. Now I think there's a fight between leftists and progressive. And I don't know which one to call people.
Leftist seems derogatory, and I didn't actually mean. I probably agree with everything Michael Moore says, like policy-wise. So for me to sit here and be like, "Fuck that guy," is ridiculous.
Leftist seems like something, that somebody like calls somebody
it's a
when they're
crazy person, and Michael Moore kind of is with all just.
Sure, he is. He is. Yeah, he is.
It's not that he's makes bad points. It's just that he's crazy.
Because I need to know what the internet's going to come up with next as the insult. Because by shifting away from liberal, you're taking libtard away from all the people in the comment section.
Oh, I don't think they're following the nomenclature that closely.
Oh, are you kidding? That's all the comment section does.
I think they'd probably just go with retard.
No, man, you don't read enough comment sections like I do. It's the best part of every article.
I started at ESPN early, and I read them on like my first article that was ever published, and I would never read them again. Like my name there, people were like, "This article sucks." It was about a Jewish runner who didn't run on the Sabbath, and it was just like anti-Semite, insulting the writer, grammar correction, which was right, things like that.
I just like to see like how many comments it takes to get to like the most like racist Obama like take on any article.
Anything that is like NFL player does drugs or NFL player gets arrested, that's like comment 1.
Any sports article is pretty easy to get there. Like NBA is super easy to get there.
Oh, NBA, it's like that if a guy gets a contract extension.
Yeah. They get there so fast on an NBA one. In hockey, I assume it's just in the article. Like not even in the comments. But that's, I don't know. All right, we were doing a little rambling here. That was our list this week, guys, though. So what did we learn this week? I think we learned that Rumplemints is maybe an underrated shot.
Rumplemints.
We learned. Everybody go take a shot of Rumplemints.
Our focus group of 2 has really yielded some results.
All right. Thanks for listening. And yeah, follow us on Twitter. Just follow our own. He's at shy_Murph. I'm at Stevesy. That's spelled STEVESY. I remember the spelling this week. I think I spelled it wrong last week. Yeah, that's what it is. And yeah, like us on Facebook and share our post, and subscribe to us on Twitter, or not on Twitter, on iTunes or Stitcher or whatever. Thanks everybody for listening. Later.